I thought I had everything: a loyal wife, a supportive family, and a life I had built from scratch with my own hands. My name is Imran, and for 8 years I believed my marriage with Sana was unshakable. I worked hard as a software engineer, spending long nights coding and building projects just to provide her with the life she dreamed of. I trusted her blindly, believing she was my partner, my best friend, and my safe place. But little did I know, the person I loved the most would betray me in the worst way imaginable. It all started when Sana began acting distant. At first, I thought it was stress, maybe work pressure or something personal she wasn't ready to share yet. She spent more time on her phone, constantly smiling at her screen, but when I asked, she said it was just memes from her friends. I didn't push her. I trusted her. Then one day, she came home with news that would change my life forever. She was pregnant. At first, I was overjoyed. I had been waiting for this moment for years. I hugged her tightly, tears in my eyes, thinking this was the start of a new chapter. But deep inside, something felt off. She seemed nervous, avoiding eye contact. I brushed it off, thinking maybe she was just overwhelmed, but my doubts grew stronger over time. 3 months later, during a family dinner, my mother dropped a bombshell that shattered me completely. She said in front of everyone, "Imran, you need to accept this child no matter what. Things happen in marriage, and you must be strong." Her tone wasn't casual. It was commanding, almost rehearsed. Confused, I asked her what she meant, but she brushed it off, saying, "Just promise me, son." That night, I couldn't sleep. Why would my mother say something like that unless she knew something I didn't? My gut screamed that something was wrong. I decided to dig deeper. I checked Sana's phone while she was asleep. It was locked, but I knew her password, her birthday. When I unlocked it, my entire world collapsed. Dozens of messages from a contact saved as office filled the screen, but it wasn't her office. It was a man named Kashif, her co-worker. They exchanged intimate messages, talking about the baby, laughing about me, and even discussing how I would never know. My hands shook as I scrolled through the chats, reading her plans to convince me to raise another man's child as my own. I didn't confront her immediately. I wanted proof that couldn't be denied. The next day, I secretly ordered a DNA test kit. I waited for the right time, and when Sana left for her doctor's appointment, I collected a sample from her toothbrush and kept it ready. Weeks later, the test arrived, and the results confirmed my worst nightmare. I wasn't the father. I felt destroyed. But the real shock came when I confronted my mother, hoping she would be on my side. Instead, she admitted that she already knew. She said, "Sana made a mistake, but you love her. You can't leave her now. What will people say? Just accept the baby and keep the family together." I couldn't believe it. My own mother wanted me to raise another man's child to protect our family's honor. That was the moment. I realized I couldn't trust anyone. My pain turned into cold determination. I decided to play along, pretending I didn't know. I acted normal with Sana, gave her everything she needed, and kept up the facade until I had a plan. Over the next few months, I quietly prepared. I transferred all my savings into a private account, changed the ownership of my properties, and updated my will. I also hired a lawyer and shared all the evidence, the chats, the DNA report, and even recorded phone calls between Sana and Kashif. My lawyer smiled and said, "She won't get a single penny." Then came the day of my brutal revenge. On the day Sana was supposed to give birth, I arranged a family gathering at my house. My mother, father, cousins, and close relatives were all present. After dinner, I connected my laptop to the TV and said I had a surprise. One by one, I displayed screenshots of Sana's chats with Kashif, their intimate photos, and finally, the DNA report that proved I wasn't the father. The entire room went silent. Sana broke down, begging for forgiveness. But I stood there calmly and said, "I forgive you, but I will never be your husband again." I handed her divorce papers in front of everyone. My mother cried, but I turned to her and said, "You chose your image over my dignity. I won't forget that. The next day, I filed for divorce and made sure Sana walked away with nothing. She tried to fight, but the court ruled in my favor because of the undeniable evidence. Kashif abandoned her the moment the truth went public, and within weeks her life crumbled. Months later, I rebuilt my life. I moved into a new apartment, focused on my career, and surrounded myself with people I could trust. My mother eventually apologized, but the damage to our relationship remained. I learned one hard lesson. Betrayal from loved ones cuts the deepest, but silence and patience make the sweetest revenge. Sana is now living with her parents, raising a child alone. The same relatives who once praised her now whisper behind her back. She went from living in my luxury home to struggling for survival, and I don't feel guilty about it at all. I didn't just take revenge. I reclaimed my dignity, my peace, and my freedom.